Hi, my name is Sam Johnson and I'm a voice teacher. Today I'm going to be reacting to and analyzing a perfect circle performing outsider. So the first thing I hear is that he's adding a lot of distortion into his voice. When I hear that kind of distortion, I want to check if it's on purpose, if it's a filter that he's adding on top, or if it's something that he just can't do, like he doesn't know how to sing that note right and so he has to distort it. What it sounds like to me is that he knows exactly what he's doing. He sounds so relaxed all the way through this, and you can hear just from the beginning, it sounds like he's just leaning into kind of a spoken posture a little bit more. So I don't think that there's anything we really need to start changing around in his voice yet. He modifies self to self-destruct. That narrows the vowels a little bit. And that goes up to his A, which is quite a high note. That vowel modification lets him maintain the tone that he was looking for from the beginning of the phrase, where it doesn't sound like, even though it's a higher note, that it's a different voice or it's a different tone or anything, because he made that narrowness. If he had said it the same way that he might in speech, and self-destruct, the vowel would actually probably distort, even if he was keeping it the same as what he thinks it needs to be. Sometimes we need to modify vowels a little bit in order to maintain the quality all the way through. So that's actually one thing that I do a lot in my teaching, is just narrowing vowels through your passaggio especially, but wherever it starts getting hard. If something is hard and you notice that you're making your mouth way too wide or working too hard, try narrowing it a little bit. Go from self to self-destruct. Just that little bit of a difference might make it a lot easier. Everyone wins.
Medicated drama queen, picture perfect non-religion, narcissistic drama queen.
On that ooh, he lets it go up into his head a little bit. That's actually what narrowing the vowel tends to do. Different vowels have different tendencies. So an ah has a tendency of engaging a little bit more chest voice. An E has a tendency of engaging more head voice. The same thing with an oo. So when he goes, make it through to you, precious, he kind of lets it move up into his head a little bit more because the vowel does that. It does all the work for him and he just doesn't push into it. That takes a lot of skill to kind of let it move up into that place without letting go, and he does a good job at that. I do think that the way he's distorting is actually kind of helping with everything, because using a vocal fry like this, it kind of reduces the amount of airflow that you're able to get. So he's going into that, reducing the amount of airflow, going back into a clean sound, and keeping that small airflow so he's not blowing anything out. There's not a single moment in this that it feels like he's yelling to me. It's all just a very controlled, even airflow and weird vowels on top of it. nice open sounding vowel.
They were right about
And he's doing that for effect, right? He could say, they were right about you, but he goes to more of that yo. It's actually just as closed at the front of his mouth, but he just opens it a little bit. It's not you, it's yo, and it gives us a different sound. He is conscious of every single sound that he wants in this. That time he lets it go up still, but he engages a little more. He holds on more. I love that. That's the first time that he really goes up high and uses a big vowel. The then he just puts that distortion on top of it. But it's the clean, nice, beautiful vowel underneath all of that. Everything is on purpose. I'm obviously a fanboy of him. I got this album when I was like 12, and I feel like when you get really into music, when you're about that age, it kind of defines everything that you like. So he's in for me. I am a fan. Drops it from how it's recorded. In the recording, he goes up higher. He could do that. That's the same note that he went on that longer, screamier sound, but he just didn't want to that day, so that's fine too. Everyone can make choices. Everything doesn't have to sound the exact same in person as it does on the record. It's nice to prove that people can do that. He's obviously proven that he can sing. He can sing live, he can sing in recordings, he can sing with, 5 different bands and somehow be successful with all of them. But he doesn't have to do everything the exact same every time. He chose to go to that lower note, whether it was because he didn't want to sing high that day or because he wanted to express himself differently, who knows? But that's his prerogative. And it's important that we're able to look at individual performances as self-contained pieces of art, rather than just like in reference to something and always trying to compare it to something else. That weakens the moment. And it's important as a singer also to stay in that moment and not try to live up to what you were once or what you want to be, but just let yourself be there right then, authentically. People respond a lot better to that than you trying to be anything else. He does a great job of just being in the moment and sounding like him. He has a very definable voice. It sounds like him no matter what band he's singing with. And he uses all of these different sounds. Like he goes to these very high notes and low notes. He holds it out for a long time. He uses cleans. He uses screams. He kind of goes between all of these things to create his own personal style. This video is a great example of him using a bunch of those different styles to create something that's just truly him. But if you want to sound like him, that's dumb. Don't do that. Sound like yourself. He's put a lot of work in to sound like himself. You can copy some of the stuff that he does, but you'll always be compared to him rather than being you. And I think that the faster singers can embrace the fact that they're individuals and kind of show that off, the faster they can learn. They just relax into things better. They're able to experiment more and just learn so much more by not trying to be something and not trying to be on pitch all the time, but just letting it be them and whatever is easy for them. Then they can refine things as it goes. That was a tangent, but he's great. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. If you're interested, I have links below to my Patreon, my Instagram, and my website. So go check all those things out, and thank you for watching.